Nobody noticed the old man at first. That's how places like Laurel and Ash worked. You didn't get noticed unless you wore power like a tailored suit. Polished shoes, loud watches, voices that carried entitlement instead of gratitude. Laurel and Ash sat right in the heart of downtown. All glass walls and low golden lighting. A restaurant built to make rich people feel important and make everyone else feel small. The old man didn't belong there. Not on paper. He walked in just before the dinner rush, shoulders slightly hunched, wearing a brown jacket that had seen better decades. His shoes were clean, but worn thin at the heels. His hair was silver and neatly combed. His hands trembling just enough to tell a quiet story of age and time. The hostess looked him up and down. Her smile faltered just a fraction of a second. But that was enough. "Do you have a reservation?" she asked. The old man shook his head. "No, ma'am, but I won't take long. Just a bowl of soup and some bread." Soup and bread. At Laurel and Ash, people ordered meals that cost more than rent. Soup and bread was what you ate when you were invisible. She hesitated, then gestured toward a small table near the kitchen doors. "We can seat you there. The worst table, close to the noise, away from the windows." The old man nodded, grateful. "Thank you." That was when Marcus saw him. Marcus was 22, tall, broad-shouldered, with tired eyes that had seen too much responsibility too early. He wore the standard black and white waiter uniform, but his posture carried something else. Pride, quiet dignity, and a refusal to become bitter, no matter how hard the world tried. He'd been working at Laurel and Ash for 8 months, long enough to know the hierarchy, long enough to know who mattered and who didn't, and long enough to recognize injustice when it walked in wearing an old brown jacket. Marcus watched as the hostess handed the old man a menu with the enthusiasm of someone handing out a parking ticket. He watched the manager, Randall Whitmore, glance over from across the dining room. Randall frowned, not because the restaurant was busy, not because a table needed attention, but because the wrong kind of person had walked in. Randall Whitmore ran Laurel and Ash like a kingdom. He was tall, sharp-featured, and permanently irritated. His suits were expensive. His voice was always just loud enough to remind people he was in charge. He believed in protecting the brand. And in his mind, the old man didn't fit the brand. Marcus grabbed a water pitcher and headed toward the table. Randall intercepted him. "You taking that one?" Randall asked, eyes flicking toward the old man. "Yes, sir," Marcus said. Randall leaned closer. "Keep it quick. We don't need campers tonight." Marcus nodded, jaw tight. "Understood." He walked away before Randall could say more. When Marcus reached the table, the old man looked up and smiled. A warm, genuine smile that didn't expect anything in return. "Good evening," the old man said. "I hope I'm not causing trouble." Marcus shook his head. "Not at all, sir. You're welcome here." The old man studied him for a moment. "You're kind." Marcus set down the water. "What can I get you?" The old man glanced at the menu, then closed it. "Just the vegetable soup and bread, please." Marcus hesitated. "Would you like anything else? Coffee? Tea?" The old man smiled again, softer this time. "Let's start with that." Marcus nodded. "I'll be right back." As Marcus walked away, he felt it. The eyes. Other diners glanced over, some curious, some annoyed. A woman in a red dress whispered something to her companion. A man in a gray suit frowned as if the presence of poverty offended him personally. Randall noticed it all. "Marcus," he snapped as Marcus passed the service station. "Make sure he pays before dessert." Marcus stopped, turned. "He hasn't ordered dessert." Randall's lips thinned. "Just make sure." Marcus didn't respond. He just walked into the kitchen. The soup came out steaming. Marcus carried it carefully, setting it in front of the old man with fresh bread. "Here you are, sir." "Thank you," the old man said. "What's your name?" "Marcus." "I'm Harold," the old man replied. "Nice to meet you, Marcus." They shook hands. Harold's grip was weak but deliberate, like he wanted Marcus to remember it. As Harold ate, Marcus checked in on him more than usual. Not because it was required, but because it felt right. Harold ate slowly, savoring each bite like it was a gift. Halfway through the meal, Randall appeared. "Everything okay here?" Randall asked, voice tight with forced politeness. "Yes," Harold said. "Your waiter has been excellent." Randall nodded stiffly. "Good." Then lower, to Marcus. "Don't forget." Marcus met his eyes. "I won't." Randall walked away. The tension lingered like smoke. When Harold finished, he folded his napkin carefully and looked up at Marcus. "May I have the check, please?" Marcus nodded and went to the register. The total was modest by Laurel and Ash standards, but for someone ordering soup and bread, it might as well have been a mountain. Marcus returned and placed the check gently on the table. Harold reached into his jacket pocket. Then his smile faded. He checked again. Then another pocket. Then his pants. Marcus saw the change immediately. I must have made a mistake," Harold said quietly. "I could have sworn I brought my wallet." His hands shook now. Marcus leaned in. "Take your time." Harold's face flushed with embarrassment. "I don't have it." The room seemed to grow louder. "I can call my daughter," Harold said quickly. "She lives nearby. She'll come." Randall was already watching. He marched over. "What seems to be the problem?" he demanded. Harold swallowed. "I appear to have forgotten my wallet." Randall's jaw clenched. "Sir, this is a business. We can't just—" "I'll pay," Marcus said suddenly. Randall turned sharply. "Excuse me, I'll pay for his meal." Randall laughed. A sharp, humorless sound. "Out of your paycheck?" "Yes." Randall stepped closer, lowering his voice. "This isn't a charity, Marcus. If he can't pay, we handle it properly." Harold stood up. "Please don't trouble the young man. I'll wait for my daughter." Randall waved his hand. "Sit down. We'll sort this out." People were staring now. Whispers rippled across the room. "This is ridiculous," Randall muttered. "Sir, we may need to involve security." Harold's shoulders sagged. That's when Marcus did something no one expected. He reached into his apron and pulled out his phone. "I'll cover it," Marcus said again. "And I'll add a tip." Randall stared at him. "You're serious?" "Yes." Randall sneered. "Fine, but don't make a habit of this." Marcus paid. The receipt printed. The moment passed. Harold's eyes were wet. "You didn't have to do that." Marcus smiled. "Yes, I did." Harold placed a hand over Marcus's. "Thank you. You don't know what this means." Marcus shrugged. "Maybe I do." Harold left quietly, promising to return the money. Randall called Marcus into the office immediately. "That was reckless," Randall snapped. "You embarrassed the restaurant." Marcus stood tall. "I helped someone. You broke protocol." "I did what was right." Randall scoffed. "You're lucky you still have a job." Marcus nodded. "Yes, sir." 3 days passed. Then the black cars arrived. A sleek convoy pulled up outside Laurel and Ash just before lunch service. Men in suits stepped out, scanning the building. Randall rushed to the window. His face went pale. "Everyone on your best behavior," he hissed. The doors opened, and in walked Harold. But not the Harold they remembered. He wore a tailored navy suit. His posture was straight, his eyes sharp, confident. Behind him walked executives, lawyers, investors. Randall froze. Marcus looked up from setting a table and felt his heart stop. Harold spotted him immediately and smiled. Randall rushed forward, nearly tripping over himself. "Welcome to Laurel and Ash. I'm Randall Whitmore, the general manager." Harold looked at him calmly. "I know who you are." Randall laughed nervously. "May we seat you in our private dining area?" Harold shook his head. "No." He walked past Randall and stopped at the same small table near the kitchen. "I like this one." The room buzzed. Harold sat and gestured for Marcus. "Marcus," he said warmly, "would you join us?" Randall sputtered. "Sir, he's staff." "I insist," Harold said, voice suddenly firm. "After all, I owe him." Randall's face drained of color. Harold turned to the room. 3 nights ago, I came here as a customer. I was treated like an inconvenience, except by one man. He placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder. This young waiter showed integrity when it cost him something. The investors nodded. Harold looked at Randall. Do you know who I am? Randall swallowed. And no, sir. My name is Harold Bennett, he said, founder and majority shareholder of Bennett Hospitality Group. Gasped. We're considering acquiring this restaurant. Randall's knees nearly buckled. But after what I saw, Harold continued, we won't be moving forward under current management. Silence. I believe leadership reveals itself in moments of inconvenience, Harold said. Marcus passed that test. He smiled at Marcus. Effective immediately, Marcus will be entering our management training program. The room erupted. Randall was escorted out later that day. Marcus stood stunned. Harold leaned in. You paid for my soup. I paid attention. Marcus swallowed hard. Justice had been served. And the lesson was clear. Character shows up when no one important is watching. And sometimes the person you underestimate is the one deciding your future.